Dr. Mark Brown, he didn't put doctor in his bio, which I don't know why. I mean, you worked hard for that, you earn it. Dr. Mark Brown is a conservation biologist who is passionate about understanding and mitigating anthropomorphic effects on coastal wildlife. While birds are his main field of interest, he has developed a portfolio of research that includes marine turtles, cetaceans, fish, socio-ecological work. With around 40 post-undergraduate students supervised, 100 scientific papers published, numerous book chapters, and numerous public speaking engagement, Mark is passionate about not only the science behind his research, but about communicating that to the wider audience, engaging people to make meaningful changes that can positively affect local biodiversity. Mark was also here when the first hope spot, the Plett Bay hope spot, was launched in 2014, so maybe he'll share a few thoughts about that as well. Please welcome Mark.
Morning, everyone. Lovely to be here, and just really appreciate the opportunity to share some thoughts with you. I'm actually not going to give a science talk today. I'm actually going to ask a question rather and go through it, and that is what is hope? And the more I've been active in conservation in communities in the last 2 decades, the more I've realized that as scientists, we really struggle to get people to emotionally connect to what we want them to do and how we want them to bring about positive change. And that's because when we train scientists, as I did for over a decade at a university, we train ourselves to take emotion out of the equation. And yet actually as conservationists, that's the first thing we need to do is reconnect emotionally with what we're trying to conserve. And so the question for all of us today is, what is hope? And that is because for each one of us in the room, hope will mean something different depending on our cultural context, our career context, our financial background, our hobbies, our interests, wherever we find ourselves in life, we'll answer that question differently. But the question is, in terms of Plett as a hope spot, what does the hope mean to us as individuals, but also as a town? So I want to answer this question hypothetically for a whole bunch of potential stakeholders. So for example, for a subsistence fisherman, the hope could be that he can catch something to feed his family today. For a surfer, it could be that he hopes to catch a really good wave today. Maybe that first barrel that he hasn't experienced before. For a tour boat operator, it could be that the tourist numbers are high enough in the bad season that he can get enough income to pay his staff. These are the hopes that people have in our hope spots. For a scuba diver, it's that they encounter something really special, maybe that new species to science, like Tessa was telling us about earlier. For the hiker on Robert, it could be, can I see a great white on my hike today? Because often you can in winter, it's really spectacular. For the research student, it's all about data, and can I hope that I get the data that I need today to help me with my study. For the mom and the toddler on the beach, it could be something as significant as I really hope I find a friend today, someone that I can connect with and deal with this chapter of my life that's so different to what I've experienced before. For the kayaker, it could be, hey, I'm hoping today's the day that pot of dolphins comes and surrounds me and just allows me to connect with it at a spiritual level. For the holiday home owner who we have a lot of in Plett, it could be that, hey, I hope the 10 days I get to spend in Plett once a year, that the weather is good, because that's significant to it. For the lifeguard, it's that no one gets caught in that rip current today. For the dog owner, it's, I hope my dog enjoys the beach as much as I do, which is quite a contentious issue in Plett, but one that I'm very proud that Plett has solutions for, and that's the thing, you can always find middle ground. For the beach walker, it could be, oh, I hope I don't find lots of hurdles again today, because that's a real issue for us here in Plett. For the swimmer, it could be that I hope it's safe for me to swim today, and Dave touched on that earlier. It's the reality of some of the hopes that we have as users of the ocean in Plett. For the birder, it could be, I hope I can see an albatross. And this was actually taken on the Plett Ocean Festival pelagic trip last year that Cindy was talking about earlier. For the NSRI volunteer, it could be that I hope we get there in time to save a life today. For the school learner on the beach for the very first time, it's a group of kids with the Nature's Valley Trust team in Nature's Valley. It could be that their mind has been open to this possibility that the beach is actually a fantastic place to be. And I hope I can spend more time on the beach with my family. It's blown me away over the years that we can have a 13, 14, 15-year-old child growing up in Plettenberg Bay within 2 kilometers of the beach, and they've never been to the beach. It's tragic, and it shouldn't happen. For the bird ringer, it could be, I hope this oyster catcher lives to 30 years old, which is the record for a ringed oyster catcher in South Africa. For the marine ranger, it could be, I hope that the penguin I've just rescued makes it. For the tourism manager, it could be, I hope we have a bumper season for our town, because that's the level at which she's hoping and dreaming. I didn't know Paddy was going to be in the audience, so the photo was there. For the fish tagger, it could be, I hope this species gets caught somewhere interesting, somewhere else along the coastline, add knowledge to our database. For the tourist, it could be, I hope I get to experience all that Plett has to offer, because we have so much to offer. And it's our collective hopes, if we put them all together, and there could be many more. I could have put another dozen slides on different perspectives and hopes. But it's when we put that all together that I believe we see what can make Plett one of the best hope spots in the world, which is kind of the byline we came up with when we launched it in 2014. And we still want to stick by that, even though we've done virtually nothing since then. The potential is still there. And it's because our bay, this magnificent place, has such a mixture of people, of biodiversity, and of care for the environment. So Sylvia recognized that hope and came in 2014 and did the launch of the first 6 hope spots in South Africa. And it was a real privilege for Plett to be part of that. And we had a fantastic 2-3 days of events that led up to the unveiling of our plaque of a hope spot. And that plaque is still there at the Skibo Club. Probably, I would guess, at least 50% of you in the audience don't even know it's there. But it's there, and it designates Plett as a hope spot, which is significant. It was a fantastic gala dinner and the unveiling of the South African Coasts book that Sustainable Seas Trust launched during that same series of events along the coastline as well. So Plett does have all that we need to make it the best hope spot. And I just wanted to remind us of that this morning. We have protected areas. We have 2 magnificent marine protected areas with their challenges, with their idiosyncrasies, managed by different government state entities, but fantastic work that's been done conserving our marine areas. We have the area listed as an IBA, an important bird and biodiversity area with BirdLife International, linking those 2 marine protected areas. We have the Whale Heritage Site status with the cetacean lines, and we have the Mission Blue Hope Spot status. Also, all of these things linking our 2 marine protected areas. We have incredible and stunning biodiversity in our estuaries, on our beaches, in our oceans. It's all there. And as has been hinted at already, we have an incredible array of non-profit organizations, individuals, members of the public, government agencies, that are passionate about protecting Plett and seeing it through to future generations. And we have a renowned reputation in terms of being successful in our efforts. And thanks to Cindy and Patty and the amazing work they do, there's a lot of people globally who know that Plett is a tourism destination. So just one slide on my approach to conservation and science is to really try and understand those areas where people are causing conflict with biodiversity, and then coming up with strategic approaches to mitigate those by bringing people, by making that emotional connection to the animal or the service or the ecosystem that they're having an impact on, getting the connection and then mitigating those impacts through high quality awareness campaigns and conversations. So it's talking about that relational link, that trust has to happen even within our own town with the different user groups before we can make meaningful change. And just 2 little examples of that. A decade's worth of work through the Nature's Valley Trust has led to an increase in breeding success of things like white-fronted plovers, that are now sometimes breeding 300% more successfully on some beaches than they were just a decade ago, because of positive mitigation methods, awareness campaigns, strategic planning for dogs, zonation and stuff like that. And then a decrease in the percentage of litter that's fishing related that gets picked up on our beaches, again, because of good quality working with communities and awareness and education campaigns. So my hope for the future as a hope spot is that we could formally link our 2 marine protected areas to protect our bay. I think that's something we should have as a goal in the back of our mind going forward. My hope is that a sustainable blue economy principle could be underpin everything that we do, where we see sustainable utilization of a magnificent bay that we have for future generations, where biodiversity is conserved and we see responsible use by caring people. And then I just want to end with 2 quotes. I struggled to find just one quote because both of these were kind of in the running, and I had to put both of them in, and they come from completely contrasting philosophies and backgrounds. The first quote is by, it's apparently not there, there it is, by Leilani Taylor, who no one, I'll be very surprised if anyone in this room knows who Leilani Taylor is, because I don't even know. She's a fantasy novel fiction writer who writes about magic and hope. But I love this quote that she came up, she says, hope can be a powerful force. Maybe there's no actual magic in it, but when you know what you hope for most and hold it like a light within you, you can make things happen almost like magic. And to me, that encapsulates what a hope spot can be about. And then at the other end of the spectrum, it's Jonas Salk, who's most famous for creating the polio vaccine. So very, very prominent and respected scientist in the medical field. And his quote that I'd like to end with is, hope lies in dreams, in imagination, and in the courage of those who dare to make dreams into reality. And I think that's what we'd like to see for our hope spots in Plett. Thank you very much.